its own being. You're almost there. Heavy ammo on the way. Zone control. Targets eliminated. Nice work.
Hi everyone, this is some YouTube Gamer here, and today I want to talk about the Crucible, and more specifically about 5 key features that I think Bungie needs to implement for Destiny 2 to make sure that the Crucible is a lot more enjoyable than it is right now. Now, you guys probably know that about a week ago, Cosmo from Bungie tweeted that he wanted video feedback of issues regarding the Crucible, and this is essentially my take on what needs to be implemented in the next version of Destiny. The reason I'm talking about Destiny 2 rather than the current version of the game is simply because I personally don't believe that there's much Bungie can do to improve the Crucible right now besides weapon balancing and maybe changing or tweaking the matchmaking settings. I think that the current version of Destiny lacks some key features that can only really be implemented in the next version of Destiny. Right now, all they can do really is weapon balancing, and we know that that takes a tremendous amount of time. And even when they do balance weapons, it doesn't always satisfy the community. So that's one of the reasons why I'm focusing mainly on Destiny 2 or the next version of Destiny. But having said that though, I believe that there's one simple change that Bungie can do right now that will make the Crucible 100 times more enjoyable, like literally bring back most of the Destiny players and Destiny fans that left the game for other shooters such as Call of Duty, Black Ops 3 or Star Wars Battlefront. So Cosmo, if you happen to have stumbled into my fleck of sputum that is my YouTube channel, there is definitely one simple change you guys at Bungie can do to really make the Crucible so much more enjoyable, and that is simply opening up classic free-for-all or classic 3v3 for full fire teams of 6. There is not much to do in Destiny right now besides PvP really. The Nightfall are not really worth doing. Most people have completed the raid, and there's no really incentive really to get to 320 light level really, because the only 320 activity in Destiny right now is Oryx, so there really isn't much to do besides having to do Crucible. So the only thing that I personally been doing lately has just been to try and jump in with 2 of my friends into classic free-for-all and have a ton of fun. And that is one of the footage that you can see right now. And it's been a ton of fun, but it's always been a problem to try and just find 2 friends to jump in. We're used to running the raid with 6 people, so you always feel like you're leaving some of your friends out. So if you can open up classic free-for-all or classic 3v3 for full fire teams of 6, you will essentially give the Destiny community a band-aid fix for player matches. The streamers are gonna love it, the YouTubers are gonna love it, everyone is absolutely gonna love it, even the new players are absolutely gonna love it, and all the Destiny players that left the game for other shooters because they are frustrated with things like shotguns or cheap deaths such as like fusion grenades and you know, all those cheap builds that are currently plaguing Destiny, such as Thorn and shotguns and camping snipers and all that kind of stuff. You actually give them the opportunity to play the game with their friends the way they want it. They can decide, oh, we are not going to use heavy ammo. They decide, oh, we are not going to use exotic armor, and then it'll be absolutely fantastic for the for the competitive community as well, because then it'll be so much easier for them to organize sweaties and stuff like that. It'll bring so much more people back to the Crucible, and I think that is one change that you guys at Bungie can do to bring a lot more players back to Destiny and make sure that the current players of Destiny really enjoy their time in the Crucible. They can play the way they actually want it. So yeah, so Cosmo, please open Classic Free For All or Classic 3v3 for a full fire team of 6. Everyone is absolutely gonna love it. Now, back to the features for Destiny 2. At number 5, I would say it's not much of a feature really. It's more of a change, and that change is that Bungie really needs to change the matchmaking system. They need to go back into a connection-based matchmaking. They need to prioritize connection to make sure that in the next version of Destiny we don't have the stupid situation where you melee someone 10,000 times and you shotgun them in the face 60 billion times and they're still alive, and then they kill you 6 weeks after. So it'll make things like Trials of Osiris a lot more enjoyable. It'll make Iron Banner a lot more enjoyable. I mean, they don't necessarily need to have dedicated servers to have a very good connection, as long as they prioritize good connection when matching players. This whole stat rigging of skill-based matchmaking just to ensure that people have a 50-50 win ratio is actually hurting the game, because it's giving us a very negative experience of the Crucible, especially when it comes time for grinding for specific gears like Iron Banner and Trials of Osiris. So just changing the matchmaking system to prioritize connection will greatly improve the experience of every single player in the next iteration of Destiny. At number 4 is also more of a change than a feature, and that will be to try and limit cheap deaths. Like things like, I personally believe, and I know some of you guys are not going to agree, but I personally believe that sticky grenades don't have a place in the Crucible. They are just extremely cheap. You can completely outgun someone and then you just turn around and in a desperate move throw a sticky grenade and they trade with you. That shouldn't really be happening. I've seen a lot of people in Trials of Osiris that are running with Sunsinger Warlocks with Void for Investment and Fusion Grenade, and all they literally do is run around corners or pop around the corners, throw a sticking grenade and then go back behind covers. That is just one of the cheapest builds that you can have in Destiny right now, and things like that shouldn't be happening. Another thing that's really cheap in the game is the amount of heavy ammo. I think there's way too much heavy ammo. I think for rockets, each player should have more than 2 rockets, and that's with armor that increase heavy ammo capacity. And I think that it should be the same with heavy machine guns. I don't think you should have more than the full clip of heavy machine gun unless you have boots that gives you heavy ammo, because currently one player can go on the crazy 10-15 kill streaks using heavy machine guns, and it's just not balancing the game. It's literally breaking the game. I think heavy ammo have a place in the game, but they need to be used right, and the ammo capacity needs to be greatly reduced, especially in game modes like 6v6, because as soon as the heavy ammo spawns in a game of Control, it's absolutely chaos. It's absolutely chaos, and it pushes a lot of good players away from 6v6, because you just think it's a bit chaotic more than organized strategic play. So yeah, I really believe that sticky grenades need to be removed. Fusion grenades, flux grenades, magnetic grenades, and heavy ammo should be greatly reduced in the Crucible. Now, our number 3 is actually a feature that I think will benefit the Destiny community, and that is a ranked and unranked playlist. There are 2 types of Destiny players at the moment. They are the ones that really want to test their wits and play against other competitive players, and those that just want to jump in, have a giggle with their friends, and then just get off. So I think having a ranked and non-ranked playlist will help both both type of players really enjoy the Crucible. You know, you don't necessarily want to jump in the Crucible and be matched with people that are using Thorn and Falwinter's Lie, and they are going all out and being really sweaty, when you just want to have fun with, let's say, Nolan Beyond and another sniper. Or if you just decide, oh, I'm just gonna go in the Crucible and see how many people I can kill with sidearms. Do you see what I mean? It will allow people to be matched with the kind of players that they want to play against. So it's going to be extremely beneficial to the Destiny community. At number 2, I think it's also a feature. I think they need to implement new fun features in new fun game modes, really, in Destiny 2. What they can do, for example, is let's say exotic gun game, where you get given a random loadout of exotics, and you just have to make use of that exotics for the next minute, and then after a minute the weapons are automatically recycled. That could be, you know, it's quite simple, because I think Call of Duty has a similar game mode, and they could do that in Destiny 2 using exotics, for example, you know, and you know, it'll allow people to even be able to test exotics that they don't actually own. You know, it could be even you can even go further and have a full loadout, primary, secondary, and heavy, all exotics, and you have to make use of those 3 for the next minute, and it'll be like the only game mode in the entire game where you can actually wear more than one exotic, and I think that'll be extremely fun. So that's just one example of new game modes. We've already seen Sparrow Racing, which is classed as a Crucible game mode, but they can implement new fun casual game mode linked with the Crucible like that. So yeah, and I think number 1 is not really much of a guess for most of you guys. I know everyone at this point knows that the most requested feature for Destiny right now is, you know, custom player matches. So yeah, at number 1 is definitely custom player matches. You know, if Bungie made custom player matches, you know, even if the weapon balancing was slightly off, people could still jump into custom matches with their friends and play the game the way they enjoy playing it, without being, you know, frustrated by the imbalance of weapons or imbalance of subclasses or exotic weapons, etc. So yeah, custom player matches have to be implemented in Destiny 2, because that is a feature that I personally really want for the next iteration of Destiny, and I don't even think that I'll want to buy the next version of Destiny if, you know, Bungie decides to skip this feature. So yeah, I think Bungie really needs to make an effort and implement that in the next version of Destiny. That's it for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think are the features that you want to see in the next version of Destiny. I'll read the comment and then probably reply to most of you guys, but those are the 5 changes and features that I think are really needed for the next version of Destiny. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with some more Destiny videos.